Strings in ES6 come with four new methods that are really handy, help us write a little bit more readable code, as well as reduce our reliance on using regex for certain things. So here I've got this course here, and I want to know, this stands RFB. It stands for React for Beginners. And sometimes I have RFB1, which is the starter package, 2, which is the master package, 3, which is the team package. And I don't really care too much about that in certain cases. I just want to know, does it start with RFB, not something like STPU, which is Sublime Text Power User, or ES6, which is this series. So RFB means React for Beginners. I need to know, does the string start with it? So we can just take the course. It starts with RFB, and that's going to show me true, because obviously it does start with it. And if I did RFB lowercase, it says false. There is no way to make this case insensitive. If you do need case sensitivity, you do need to still use a regex. Now, one other thing that starts with will do is it'll allow you to skip a certain number of characters and start looking at it. So this flight number here, I want to see if it starts with AC. And that's false, right? Because it starts with like 20 dash. And sometimes we have these skew numbers when they start with like a bunch of junk, and then it gets to actually what we want. So what you can do is you can run starts with and say pass 3, and that says start after 3 characters. And that is then true, because it ignores the first 3 and then starts at AC and checks against that. Ends with works fairly similar. Here is an example where we have JZ on the back, and I want to know if it's a Jazz flight. So we can say flight number ends with JZ. JZ, depends if you're from Canada or not. And that will be true, obviously, because it ends with it. Now, there's another option that we can pass ends with, and I'm going to use this account number variable as an example here. So in Canada, we have business numbers that are 9 digits long. They're always 9 digits long, and that is your actual business number. And then you have a tax number, which is RT 0001 0002. You have RP 0001 for your first employee, RP 002 for your second employee, et cetera, et cetera. And we have RC for your corporate taxes. So often you need to know, okay, is this number a tax number, or is this number a corporate tax number, or is this a payroll number? And that would be if it's RC or RP or RT. So I need to check if this number starts with RT, or sorry, ends with RT, and I want to ignore this right here. So what you can do is you can tell the account number to just take the first X number of characters and ignore the rest. I'm going to say account number dot ends with RT, ends with, not with, RT. That's false. But what I can tell it is only take the first 11 numbers, and that is then true. So essentially, you're just going to take the first 11 numbers, ignore the rest, and then see if it ends in RT or whatever else it is. Then next up, we have includes. Includes will just check if that string is anywhere in it. So if I wanted to say if my flight number includes anywhere, if it includes the words AC, that is true. It is not case sensitive, so you cannot do that. You have to know that. So includes is anywhere in. It was supposed to be called .contains, but now it got changed to includes because of some conflicts with the MooTool libraries and the way that they modified the prototype. Next up, we have make, model, and color here, and I'm going to show you where that would be useful for using .repeat. So what does repeat do? Repeat allows you to take a string like a snake and repeat it. Let's get my snake back. Repeat it like 10 times. That gives you 10 snakes or 1,000 snakes or however many snakes you would like. You can just call .repeat, and it's just going to repeat that string over and over and over again. Where is that useful? Sometimes we have some words here. Like I'm going to take BMW X5 in royal blue. And if I wanted to like display them maybe in a terminal or something, but I want to like right align them, how would that work? Well, I'd have to just put a whole bunch of padding in, depending on how long this was and how much space will go in here. So that is what is called a left pad function, and you can use .repeat to code a nice little left pad function. So let's do this. Function left pad. That will take in the string that we want to pad and the length that we wish to have it, and I'm going to set that to a default of 20 characters. And inside of here, we can return. We're just going to return a string, which I'm just going to start it with like a little arrow just to show us where we are. And we need to then pad it with however many characters we need. So we'll take a space and repeat however many. How many do we need? Well, we take the string or the length minus the string.length. So if it's 3, it's going to give us 17 spaces that have been repeated. And then we simply just tack on the string there. Now I've got this nice little left pad function. I can take make, model, and color, put them in here. It's going to console log each one of them out. Console.log, left pad, model. I'm going to leave out the length because we're going to default it to 20, and it should just pass in make, model, and color. There we go. See how these are all perfectly left aligned, BMW, X5, and Royal Blue, whereas all of this is however much padding we actually need. That's kind of a nice little use for repeat. Another little funny one that you can do is we can take an ESX template string, and inside of that, let's do like a statement where we take what do we want to multiply? Dancing lady, string of dancing lady times 5. So what happens when you take a string and multiply it by a number? You get nan. Okay. Some of you might have a nan yourself. And let's call repeat on that 10 times and then tack on Batman. What is that going to give us? No, Batman. Pretty funny. I didn't make that up. I saw it online somewhere, but I thought it was pretty cool because what's happening here, you're giving yourself essentially a string of nan, you're repeating it 10 times, and then you're tacking on Batman onto the end. So those are some 4 new ones. Put them in your back pocket and hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks.